Good morning, guys. Welcome to Yoga with Liz for a morning Vinyasa flow. This morning we will start along the other side of our mat, so not facing our typical front. So come along the long side of your mat with your heels underneath your glutes and your hips. And if this is too much of a stretch for you or feels kind of uncomfortable, you can come up a little bit and put a towel, a blanket, or a book underneath your hips. And then just start to find your breath here. Roll your shoulders up, down, and back the spine. Keep the core engaged. And start to lengthen your inhale and lengthen your exhale. Find your breath here. Maybe set an intention for your practice this morning. Can be a word or a phrase. Maybe it's to find stillness or stay present on your mat or anything in between. And with your next inhale, seal that intention in. And exhale, release any unwanted energy or thoughts for your practice today. Deep inhale through the nose. Deep exhale through the mouth. Then take your right hand over to the right side of you. Maybe tent the fingertips out a little bit or really reach over. And as you inhale, reach the left arm up and over. Just warming up the side body. Relax the shoulders down. Maybe feel if you have any tension. As you inhale, reach up and over to the left. Again, you can bend into that elbow, or tent the fingertips. Just make sure your hips stay on the mat. Really root down through that left hand. Kind of push against it, get that deeper stretch. Inhale, reach back over to the right. Maybe a little deeper this time. Relax the shoulders down. One more time over to the left. Really opening up the side. This time as you come back over to the right, take the left arm straight up. From here, kind of come up onto the knees. Maybe walk that right hand out towards the top of the mat a little bit. Then take the left leg out long with the toes facing the same way your knee is along the long side of the mat here. Almost in this modified plank pose. Just trying to warm up the whole body. And as you inhale, reach up with both hands and take the left arm over the left leg and the right arm overhead. All right, our side body stretch again, but also engaging the lower body a little more. Make sure that left foot stays rooted. You come back over to the right side. This time, plant the right hand out a little bit further and start to lift the left leg up. Again, in this sort of side plank modification here, really squeezing the glutes and the hips. And start to round the hips under to elongate your tailbone. Activating the core. And maybe just take a glance down and make sure your shoulder is over your wrist here. And you can choose to stay here, or starting to take your left hand to that left ankle and pulling the leg behind you, opening up into this variation of sugarcane pose. Starting to stretch out the quads, maybe the back, really opening up the chest. Gently release your ankle, and then plant the left leg down, coming back upright, and then switch knees. So take the right leg out long, plant the left hand down and reach the right arm overhead. As you inhale, reach back up, take the right arm down the right leg. Again, really rooting through that right foot, the toes facing the long side of the mat. Reach the left arm overhead. And that side body stretch, but maybe feeling it in that right inner thigh now. And taking it back over to the left again, reach out a little bit further, lift the right leg up. And into this side plank variation. Opening up the whole body here, really flexing through the right toes. Feeling that line of energy from your fingertips to your toes. And from here you can take that modification of sugar cane pose, reaching the right arm, the right hand to the right ankle. Really pushing against your hand into your ankle, opening up the chest, opening up the hips. Really active pose here. Gently release, lay the leg back down, and come back up. And take both knees here together. Take the arms behind the back. Start to clasp your hands behind, maybe turn back to the front of your mat with the short side looking in front of you. And you can flip your palms, or maybe just take opposite elbows here and start to bend back into our seated posture. And then start to draw the chest towards the knees, releasing the shoulders overhead. Again, you can always choose to just cross opposite elbows and lean over here as well. Whatever little bind works for you to just really open up your shoulders, still opening up the chest. Take 2 more breaths. Feeling the rise and the fall of the belly. On your next inhale, gently come up. Release your grip, coming out to our tabletop. Just taking a couple cat and cows here. You can choose to curl the toes under, engage the calves and the feet a little more. Lengthening through the spine. As you inhale, pull the belly down. Bring the shoulders back. Find your cow. Exhale, really push through the mat, round the core into the spine. Find your cat. Inhale to cow, belly down. Exhale, find cat, really round it all in. One more here. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Then coming back to our neutral spine. And then start to lift the knees. Coming into this hovering tabletop pose, just an inch or so off the mat. And then maybe shift the weight over the wrists just a little bit more. Really squeezing the core in here, strengthening the spine. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and then start to straighten out the legs. We'll walk the hands back as you do so, coming into our first forward fold. Maybe be a little more gentle on this first fold. Still waking up the body, waking up the backs of the legs. As you inhale, find length. Exhale, fold a little deeper. Find some stillness here. As you inhale, rise to stand, arms come overhead. Exhale through to heart center. Take a breath here to focus on that intention you set at the beginning of your practice. Just notice how you're carrying it with you and how you can continue to focus on that in your practice today. From here, take the hands behind the back, finding that same clasp you had in our seated position. And really puff up the chest, open up the shoulders. As you exhale, start to forward fold. Releasing the arms overhead. Really stretching out the shoulders. If you practiced with me on Monday, that was a lot of vinyasas. So just massaging out the shoulders, giving them the care they need. As you inhale, come back up to stand. Lift the arms overhead and exhale, forward fold. Start to walk the hands out to your first downward dog of the day. Maybe play around with the dog, shorten it or lengthen it. Just see how the body feels. You can find some movements here, maybe dipping A shoulder and a knee in on each side. Bending into the left shoulder and the right knee. Then the left knee and the right shoulder. Take 3 more breaths here, finding whatever movement or stillness you need in your body today. And finding your downward dog, shift forward to high plank and hold here. Again, activating the core, getting it nice and warmed up before we really start flowing. Coming light onto our toes, so most of the weight is really pulled up through our core. Take 3 more breaths here. Again, lengthening every inhale and deepening every exhale. On your next exhale, start to lower to chaturanga or to the mat, keeping the elbows into the body, squeezing the quads. Inhale through to upward facing dog. Thighs are lifted, tops of the feet are on the mat, really opening up through the hips. Exhale, squeeze the core, push the hips back, find your downward dog. Starting to find some more movement in our practice this morning. On your next inhale, look forward. Slowly walk to the top of your mat. Feeling a good stretch in the hamstrings or the backs of the legs. Then from here, bend your right knee, keeping your right hand planted, lift the left arm up. Feeling the stretch in the back of the left leg, a little more now. Rotating the chest open. Exhale back down. Bending into the left leg, keeping the left hand planted, or maybe even just along your ankle or your shin, or a block if you have one. Then reaching the right arm up, rotating the chest open, stretching along that right leg. And exhale, release back down. Inhale, rise up, arms come overhead. Exhale through to heart center. Coming into our sun salutations. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Find length in the spine. Hands can stay on the mat, or you can bring them to the shins. Plant the hands, step back, high plank. Exhale, slowly lower chaturanga or to the mat, through to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, send it back, downward dog. Take 3 breaths here, really pushing the hips back, working the heels down. Feeling your whole body engaged in your downward dog. On your next inhale, look forward. Walk or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand, arms come overhead. Exhale through to heart center, pull the hips under, engage the core here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold, sun A again here. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the hands, step back, high plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Through to upward facing dog. Back to downward dog. If you need to, at any point, you can always come to child's pose or just lower to your knees. Get some water if you need to. Find whatever works best in your practice. One more breath here. And on your next inhale, look forward, bend the knees, step or walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand, arms come overhead. Exhale back through to heart center. From here, coming into a couple balancing postures, shifting the weight into the right leg, starting to bend into that left knee. You can choose to kickstand the left foot along the right ankle, here. Or you can start to bring that left leg up. Coming into your tree pose, you can use the hands if you need to help guide your left foot where you'd like it. Really spread the right toes wide. Create that solid foundation through our standing leg. Find something to focus on that's not moving, also known as your drishti. Then you can start to grow your branches or lift your arms up, pulling your energy up and out. Finding stillness here. Focus on the breath. If you'd like a little bit more of a challenge, you can close your eyes or maybe start to find a little back bend. Shifting your gaze up, reaching back. Then coming back to center. Then taking the left knee to our standing knee position, hands coming down to the sides. From here, start to shift the weight in the hips, reaching the left leg back, pulling the hands back through to heart center, maybe reaching out in front of you into your warrior three. The right leg might be shaking a little. Just find that foundation, find some stability in that right leg. Really lengthen through the left. Again, find your drishti or point of focus, something that isn't moving to help your balance. From here, step the left leg back into your warrior one position. So the left toes are turned out at an angle, not all the way towards that side of the mat, but almost at that 45 angle here, bending into the right knee. Reach the arms up, coming into your warrior one. Spending a couple breaths here. Starting to pull that left hip forward and the right hip back. You can use your hands to help assist that. Just really pulling the left hip forward. Creating a nice hip opener. Stability and strength through the glutes. From here, find that clasp again we've had a couple times in our practice. Maybe just interlacing the fingers. As you inhale, really open up the chest, maybe reach back. Exhale, come into exalted warrior, taking the right shoulder into the right knee. The palms can flip up. And just find this deeper stretch into the lower body, into the shoulders. Take 2 more breaths. And on your next inhale, start to come back up. Reach the arms up, back into warrior one. Plant the hands down, step back into your high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Through to upward facing dog. Back to downward dog. Just notice any differences you feel on one side of the body compared to the other. Maybe you feel nice and long throughout the right side. And ready to take the same flow on the left. As you inhale, look forward. Walk or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Arms come overhead. Exhale, back through to center. This time, take the weight into that left leg, starting to bend into our right knee. Again, you can kickstand that right foot, or you can pull it up to your inner left thigh, using the hands as needed. Getting a solid foundation here before we start reaching our arms up. Spreading the left toes wide. And as you inhale, start to reach the arms up overhead, pulling the energy up and out. Again, you can choose to close your eyes if you'd like, or maybe start to take that little bit of a back bend. Focus on something that isn't moving. Focus on your breath. It's okay if you wobble. It's okay if you fall. Find some play in in your practice, especially with our balancing postures, exploring new variations. On your next inhale, come back up. Take that right knee out in front of you, keeping it even with the hips. Draw the arms out to the side. Shift the weight back into the hip, reaching the right leg back, coming into warrior three on the left side. Keeping that left leg strong and stable. One more breath. As you exhale, bend into that left knee, turn the right toes out, coming into our warrior one on the left side. Now pulling the left hip back and the right hip forward this time. Feeling a little bit more of a pull on the right side. And take the hands behind you, maybe clasp them the other way, or taking the opposite elbow on top if you have elbow to elbow. Inhale, reach back, open up the chest. Exhale, come into exalted warrior, taking the left shoulder to the left knee. Opening up the shoulders. Maybe feeling a deeper stretch or sensation throughout that left leg. Letting the right leg help support you, keeping every toe planted on the mat, really rooted through the whole foot there. 2 more breaths. And on your next inhale, come back up. Reach the arms up to warrior one. Exhale down to the mat, coming into your high plank. And flow through your vinyasa. Meeting in our downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here. Feeling nice and stretchy throughout the whole body now. Feeling elongated. Maybe lengthen your dog out here and just see what that feels like. Reaching a little bit further through my hands, pushing the hips back, getting a deeper stretch throughout the whole body. Then slowly walk the feet to meet the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Arms come overhead. Exhale, back through to center. Coming into our tree pose again on the right side, bringing the left foot into the right, or maybe just kickstanding the foot. As you inhale, reach the arms up. Maybe find a different variation of this pose now, in our second time in this flow. You can take that back bend, you can reach the arms out to the side. You can take the hands behind you if you'd like, really open up the chest. Challenge yourself in your balancing postures. Find some play in your practice. And slowly come back to center. Take that left knee out in front of you, keeping it even with the hip. And slowly shift the weight back into warrior three. Maybe reach the left leg up a little bit higher the second time around. One more breath. As you exhale, bend into the right knee and step the left leg back into our warrior one. Reach the arms up. Pull the left hip forward, right hip back. Interlace the hands behind you or maybe grab opposite elbows. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, back to exalted warrior. Maybe reaching a little deeper this time. Now that you know the sequence. As you inhale, come back up. Keeping your clasp with your hands or opposite elbows. Straighten out the right leg and turn the toes to the long side of the mat. Inhale, open up the chest, maybe shift the gaze up. Exhale, take our wide-legged forward fold. adjust your grip as needed. And really opening up the shoulders, stretching out the lower body. Finding a little bit of stillness here. Really root down through the feet, lift through the thighs. And really let your arms go forward, falling heavy towards your head. On your next inhale, reach back up. Turn the right toes forward, come back into warrior one. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back to your high plank, and float through your vinyasa. Again, meeting in downward facing dog, or maybe you need a breath in child's pose. On your next inhale, look forward. Walk or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand, arms come overhead. Exhale, back through to heart center. Shifting the weight into the left leg. Take the right foot to the inner thigh. Again, find some stability here. Then maybe find a different variation of your tree pose. Challenging yourself this morning. Exploring in your practice and everything the body is capable of. Maybe opening up the chest. And coming back to center. Take the right knee out forward, along with the hip, in line with the hip. Hands come down to the sides, or you can keep them at heart center as you lengthen through the right leg, shifting the weight back into your warrior three. Keeping that stability in the left leg, lifting through the right. Really feeling the left ankle and foot working here to help hold you up. On your next exhale, bend into that left knee, step the right leg back, come up into your warrior one. Pull the right hip forward, left hip back. Then interlace the hands behind you, yet maybe take the opposite way, with the opposite thumb on top. Inhale, really open up the chest. And exhale, find exalted warrior, bringing the left shoulder over the left knee. Maybe reaching a little lower with the shoulder this time. Reaching the arms towards the head a little more. On your next inhale, reach back up. Keeping our hands together. Turn the toes to the other long side of your mat. Inhale to open up the chest. And exhale, start to fold. Finding your breath. With every exhale, releasing some tension in the arms towards the head a little further. Allowing the legs to be your strength and stability in this posture. On your next inhale, rise back up. Turn the left toes forward and bend back into your warrior one. Deep inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, plant the hands down, coming into your high plank and flow through your vinyasa. Staying in our downward dog for 3 breaths. And take child's pose if you would like as well. If you're in child's pose, make your way back to your downward dog. As you inhale, lift the right leg behind you, keeping the hips square, and really let that left heel sink low. Stretching out your calf and the left leg. flexing through the right toes. Now as you come forward into your high plank, bring the knee to your chest. From here, take the right knee out towards the right tricep, back to center, back to right tricep, back to center. One more, back to tricep, back to center, and hold. Really squeeze the heel into the glutes, pulling up through the core. Exhale, come back to your three-legged dog. Release the right leg down. Inhale the left leg back. Three-legged dog on the left side. And really let your right heel sink down, stretching out your calf. As you inhale, come forward, left knee to chest, into our high plank variation here. Then take the left knee over to the left tricep, back to center, back to the left tricep, back to center, left tricep, back to center, and really squeeze the heel into the glutes, feel the core working. Exhale, release back to three-legged dog. Bring the left leg down. Shift forward, high plank. Flow through your vinyasa. A little bit of core work there. Core is the foundation of so many postures in our practice, especially when we get into arm balances or inversions. Let your breath and your body reset in your downward dog. Then drop to your knees and find your child's pose. Really reaching forward through the arms, pulling the hips back. Releasing any tension that's still carried in the body. On your next inhale, shift forward into tabletop. Inhale the right arm up. And exhale, thread it underneath the left arm with the right palm up, drawing the right shoulder down. The head will rest on the mat. You can stretch the left arm out, keeping the hips square. Really stretching out both shoulders here as you reach the left arm forward, pulling back into that shoulder. Really rotating the upper body here, getting a gentle stretch throughout the shoulders, throughout the rhomboids in the back. Then take the left hand back towards the face, push through the left hand, lift the right arm up, and place the right hand back down. Inhale the left arm up. Thread the needle on the left side, resting the head and that left shoulder down. Reach the right hand forward, pulling back into the right shoulder, kind of massaging out the left side. Two more breaths here. And start to take the right hand back towards the face, push through the right hand, lift the left arm up, and place it back down. Again, find our child's pose. Start to walk the hands back to the hips. Finding your hands at heart center. Spending a few breaths here. Maybe you'd like to find your final resting pose in Shavasana, laying all the way down on your mat. Reflect on your intention and how you carried it with you throughout your practice, or if you're thinking about something else. think about how we can carry that intention with us throughout the rest of our day and our week. Take 3 more breaths here. Finding length with every inhale and depth with every exhale. As we finish our practice today, we bow as we say namaste.